Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be it to me according to your word. Today, the Holy Mother of the Church celebrates the feast of the Annunciation of the Lord. The feast was celebrated in the 4th century. The festival celebrates two things. First, God's action in entering the human world as Jesus in order to save humanity, and the second, humanity's willing acceptance of God's action in Mary's freely given acceptance of the task of being the Mother of God. As always, God takes the first step in reconciling the broken relationship. He is ready to forgive and reconcile the relationship, but from the part of man, there was no way to reconcile, and so God becomes man to make the reconciliation and to pay the ransom. God is ready to enter into the relationship, but the consent must be mutual. And that is what we hear in today's gospel, Mary giving consent to obey the will of God. The readings of the day point out to the willing consent of Mary. In the first reading, we hear an angel saying to Prophet Ahaz to ask for a sign, but he refuses to ask for a sign and put God to test. In the Gospel reading, we have Mary. The angel came to Mary saying that she has to become the Mother of God. Mary, after clarifying the doubts, willingly accepts and surrenders to the plan of God. The consent of man is very important. Because of one man's consent to eat the fruit of knowledge, the whole humanity was punished. And so, with one woman's consent to obey the will of God, the actualization of the salvation history takes place through the person of Jesus in the Incarnation. Saint Francis de Sales says that there are three steps leading to sin: the temptation, delight, and consent. So also, there are three steps leading up to virtuous life: the inspiration, which is the opposite of temptation; the delight in the inspiration, which is the opposite of delight in the temptation; and the consent to the inspiration, which is the opposite of the consent to temptation. Thus, the consent to obey God or to disobey is up to each one. God has given man the freedom to act responsibly. Even after repeatedly rejected by the people of Israel, God did not abandon his people. He sent his only Son to redeem them. In our life also, God reaches to us through various ways. But are we ready to consent to the will of God? Even though the angel of the Lord brings good news to us in various ways, it is up to us to accept or to reject. Mary has chosen to obey God and to receive the blessings of the Lord. What about us? Like Jesus.